Oh, hey, bud. Are you okay? You get your head there pretty good. What's that? Joe Biden presidency? Vaccine mandate? Russian ammo ban? Oh, no. Calm down. It's okay. That was years ago. But listen, there are some flesh eaters outside. So why don't you pick up your rifle and we'll get you home, okay? Yep, you heard that right. The dead are coming back to life. But the good news is that I guarantee that at least one of us is going to make it out of here alive. Now, I've been traveling around in here a little while, and I want to show you what I carry, so that as we look for things, you can find something that you might carry, so that you can stay alive a little longer than the guys outside the door. So I got together with a few of my friends, and we're all going to be making videos about our loadouts and what we would take. The first thing is going to be with what we have. The second thing is going to be if we could have anything. And the third one is going to be like a wild card where you get to pick your theme. We're going rifle, pistol, melee weapon, and then some sort of special that I'll get to in a little bit. First, let's talk about the rifle. This is my M16A1. Has a 20-inch barrel, takes 30-round AR mags, and since it's chambered in 223 and 5.56, you'll be able to find ammo most places in the United States. These rifles are somewhat susceptible to a lack of service, but with the cleaning kit in the butt, I feel like I can carry enough oil and enough tools to keep this thing running for quite a while. And instead of traveling, I plan to have a home base that I can go back to at the end of every night, which is where we're going after this. I usually have a light duct taped to the barrel, but I took that off right now. That's what's over there. It's pretty hard to find reliable lighting in these conditions. This rifle has reliable iron sights that have been killing things longer than I've been alive. So I count on it to be reliable in time of need. The reason I choose this particular rifle is one, because I like the stock length of the A1, and two, it has the 20-inch pencil profile barrel. That means that it's light for long treks, but also I'll talk more about that when we get to my melee weapon. Let's go on to my pistol. This is my CZ82. It's a double-action, single-action pistol, which means that it can be carried safely where all you need to do is pull the trigger, and you can always cock the hammer manually to have accurate, easy trigger pulls. As much as I would like to replace this with something else, I still have a decent bit of 9mm Makarov left, and this pistol has been serving me reliably even before the fall. My melee weapon is this M7 bayonet. Much like the rifle, this is old, stood the test of time, and lasted longer than I have. It's a good, reliable knife, can be driven into a zombie skull. However, the biggest bonus of this bayonet rifle setup is that you can stick it on the barrel, and you have a good reach. And with the 20-inch barrel, you actually have an extra 4 inches compared to the traditional rifle setup. You can do good bayonet thrusts, and you can get things where they're a little bit further away. But if you get into a close engagement like this house, you can sling the rifle and take off the knife using that alone. One of the big problems with a rifle like this is that it can be somewhat loud, so the bayonet helps you be quiet. However, the last thing that helps you be quiet is my special weapon. This is a single-shot 22. Why single shot? Well, that's because 1, it's quiet because it's bolt action. However, 2, this rifle is incredibly light, so even while carrying the rest of this stuff and my usual getup, this doesn't add quite as much weight as some other options would. Load this thing with 22 short or 22 long rifle, and you can pop a zombie skull a little bit longer distance than you can with that bayonet, but a little bit quieter than you can with that M16. Another minor benefit of this rifle is that it is incredibly simple and incredibly easy to repair in this field. I've done 2 expedient repairs with this rifle before the fall that I could have done using entirely hand tools after things went down. But it's simple, reliable, and works for somewhat longer distances than you can get with a bayonet. Another benefit of that is that you can carry about 500 rounds of 22 long rifle for probably less than this pistol weighs. But there are some improvements I've been looking for since I've been going out and raiding parties. One is, as you notice, this rifle has only iron sights. What I'd really like to pick up is a flat top that still has the 20-inch pencil profile barrel, but with the flat top I can mount some sort of low-power optic on top of this, and still have room for backup irons just in case that optic goes down. I really like the AR platform more than AKs, especially living in the United States, where 223 and 5.56 is so widely available. I do want to keep the A1 or A2 front sight post so that I can have my bayonet mounted, because the bayonet and rifle combo is probably in my opinion, one of the best options. The other thing I'm looking for, though, is some Magpul handguards, because then I would be able to more easily mount a flashlight or some other attachments. The big thing I get out of this rifle that I want to keep is that it is really lightweight and long at the same time. As you know, 9mm Luger is far easier to find in the United States than 9mm Makarov. So I would like to someday soon swap out my Makarov for something in 9mm Luger. Ideally, I'd like to stick to double action, single action because it's what I've personally done the most training with, and because I like the ability to have an early hard trigger pull for safety, but to be able to take quick follow-up shots with that light trigger pull that comes with the single action. I think I'd probably go with something like a CZ75 or a Beretta 92, since that would be magazine compatible and parts compatible with what the United States military has been carrying for years. It's probably one of the most prevalent 9mm double action, single action handguns in the United States. As for my special weapon, I really like this rifle in theory, but I could make some clear improvements to make it quieter and more accurate. 1, this rifle's old, and because of that, the rifling is somewhat shot out. Now, I can still make good hits within 25 yards and maybe even a little bit further than that on a good day, but get out too much further than that and the bullet will start to tumble and may have some other problems. The other thing is I do really like the target sights, so I'd like to keep those since they're more reliable than an older optic and lighter than many newer optics. And if I could mount a suppressor on the front, that would make it even quieter. I would also really like if it had a magazine while maintaining the capability for single loading. Although the single shot works right for most conditions, I may want to stay quieter than the AR but have a little bit more rapid fire than this rifle can provide. So I'm thinking something like a Henry lever action or a Target 22 rifle that has an underbarrel tube magazine would be the most beneficial for me. That way I have a good amount of rounds in storage, but if I need a single load, I can once I run out. I know my preferred loadout is mostly improvements of what I already have, but that's because I like this kit and that's why I've chosen it. Now, let's talk about my wildcard loadout. As you have probably guessed, this is my post-apocalyptic Soviet loadout. The rifle is a Russian Mosin-Nagant M44. Mine is dated 1946, which means it was made right after World War II ended. What I like about this version is it is short, so it's relatively light, and it has a permanently fixed bayonet. I like the bayonet, as I previously said, because it gives you extra range over a standard melee weapon like a knife. The upside and downside of the Mosin-Nagant M44 is that it having such a short barrel means that it has a massive fireball. The upside of this is that I can stab one zombie with my bayonet and then shoot another, and then the concussive fireball will light the other two on fire. The Mosin-Nagant really is a beautiful rifle, but I'm going to put the bayonet away before I poke a hole in my ceiling. This ammo belt is a 1918 produced United States military ammo belt. It fits 2 clips of 30-06 or 8mm Mauser. However, it only fits 1 in each pocket for 7.62x54R, which means 45 rounds. For my pistol, of course, choose a TT-33 Tokarev. This one is a Chinese clone, but it still serves the role. This is a single-action handgun, much like a 1911, and it holds 7 rounds per magazine. However, instead of having a thumb safety along the side, it has a half-cock safety, so you carry it at half-cock and push it to full cock when you actually need to use it. Since the bayonet is attached to the rifle, that does not count as my melee weapon for this loadout, so I just couldn't resist having the melee weapon and the special weapon be connected. Of course, it's a hammer and a sickle. I feel like I should clarify that I'm not a filthy commie, but this is just a joke. However, the advantage to being Soviet after the zombie apocalypse is that I'm already used to not eating much food. Jokes aside, this has been a really fun video to make. I'm going to link to the other guys who joined me for this project in the description and in the pinned comment. I hope you enjoyed this goofy content. My plan is to do a goofy video like this every month that has 5 weeks. I hope this video was as much fun for you as it was for me, but as for me, I stabbed 3 flesh eaters with this bayonet and I lived on.